So, hello everyone, and welcome to this special interview that I have with Christie Cate. Christie, how are we doing today?
We're doing wonderful. How are you?
Oh, I'm doing just dandy. I was just having a wonderful lunch with my brother. We had some amazing dim sum, and now we're gonna have an amazing interview. I'm so excited because, it's interesting. With your resume of the characters that you've done, you've done characters such as Elliot from Trials of Mana, Amori from Chocobo Mystery Dungeon, and so many other wonderful characters. So, Christie, it's clear that you have quite the range for voice acting characters such as Elliot from Trials of Mana, a zombie girl named Qiqi from Genshin, and the unknown god from the same game. When did you discover your voice and voiceover?
I discovered it as a child in imitating characters for different shows and movies. I loved playing video games, so I would play like Super Mario 64, and I would imitate Princess Peach or different video games like that. And then I didn't realize I had a passion for acting until later on in life. Ironically, I did a podcast in high school, and I did not feel like I did a good job with it because it was my parents' friends. They were like, "Hey, your daughter, she likes acting. Let's throw her on this podcast." And I was like, "What?" And so I don't know. I felt like my voice sounded cringe, and I just wasn't a fan. But a few years after that, I was doing background work on some movies, and that's when I discovered that I actually really liked doing voiceover because I had a conversation with another background actor, and they were taking voice classes, and I started doing the same, and it was so perfect, and I loved it, and that's kind of how I got there today.
And here we are. You're doing these different voices of characters and everything, and it's kind of interesting too, just because I can kind of relate to the starting off with the voiceover of doing podcasting. There was I'm not sure if you remember, in the early 2000s, the beginning pioneer of podcasting in 2006 era to 2007, there was a website called Blog Talk Radio, and that's kind of where I got my start in kind of discovering my voice and the voiceover and doing podcasting and everything. So I find that kind of interesting that we have the kind of that same roots, the same start. And podcasting now has just grown so massive lately. Like, just even for...
Yeah, it's everywhere.
Yeah, it is. Like, for example, like yesterday, I just saw a podcast of how to do a podcast. Different things like that. And like even a podcast right now, I'm redoing my balcony, and like they're like, add a flower pot to the right side of the balcony because of wind reasons. I'm like that, shaking my head in the car like, yes, wind reasons. Thank you, podcast. So it's incredible to see how we can find and discover our own voice. And that being said, there's a saying that goes in acting. It says, get to know your character or become that character. Out of the characters you voice, which one can you identify the most with?
I'd say there isn't really a singular character I identify the most with. There's realistically like facets of each character is something that I relate to. Like both Qiqi and Elliot have like that childlike wonder. Qiqi is forgetful, and admittedly I can be at times. And you even have Irma from Chocobo's Mystery Dungeon. She loves jewels, and I mean, who doesn't love diamonds? Like, well, I like the fake shiny ones, to be honest. Like those giant fake ones. I'm totally into that.
You gotta get what they say. Get the bling. Just diamonds are forever. Just like the song goes.
Yeah.
So let's talk a bit about Genshin. So how did you hear about the audition for the game, and what was your reaction to it?
The audition was interesting because you don't know it's for Genshin. Everything kind of has like a hidden name.
Right.
So you just kind of get the character breakdown, look at it, and audition. And it's a blessing and a curse because on the one hand, you're able to just kind of do the audition without thinking in the back of your head, oh wow, this is for blah, blah, blah. I'd love to be in that. But it's also a curse because knowing the genre and the tone is super helpful. Thankfully, the Genshin auditions were very clear with what they wanted, and they provided vocal refs from the original Chinese actress, which was what this dub was based off of.
Right, and it's so unique when you get these kind of experiences because you're kind of in that loop where you're like, oh man, I wonder how this is gonna be, or like wonder how this game's gonna turn out, and for you specifically, it's really unique when actors get to voice multiple characters in a game. So in Genshin, you voice the unknown god and Qiqi, two completely different characters, unless Qiqi's some sort of god that we don't know about. But what can you tell us about the unknown god?
Honestly, I know just about as much as you do based off of that trailer. I will say that when the trailer came out, I was super excited to hear myself in that trailer. There's only like 200,000 views at that point, and it was a wonderful experience. Ironically, when the game came out, I wanted to, hear the opening cutscene, and I had downloaded it on my phone, but I didn't realize my phone was on silent because I don't really game on my phone. And I was playing the cutscene, and I'm like, wait, but I can't hear anything. No. And yeah, I had to watch it later because you can't reach once you pick a twin. That's your twin.
Like, that's it. Once you pick the one, that's it. And which twin did you go for? Did you go for Lumine or Ether?
Okay, so the funny thing is I know Sarah Miller-Cruz in real life, and I did not know Zach Aguilar prior to recording Genshin. I picked Ether because I felt before the game's release that there was more female characters in the game. So I was like, oh, okay, well, let's just mix this up and have, the male traveler. And then over time they've released so many other characters, and I was like, oh, okay, I guess that didn't really matter. But for a minute, I felt sad that I didn't pick my friend, Sarah, but with the latest, release that happened, I won't say spoilers, it was cool because I got to hear Sarah act more, and it made me happy. So I was like, okay, I think I did do the right choice.
Yes, absolutely. And it's definitely a wonderful experience when you get to do all these different characters, and and especially with Genshin, there's other actors that get that unique experience to play multiple characters. If I'm not mistaken, Laura Stahl plays Xinyan and Barbara, which I think is pretty awesome. So things like that. So it's all a very, very unique experience for the actors, and I can only imagine playing two iconic characters is awesome. So playing what the gamers believe is a villain to the sweet, forgetful Qiqi can be a bit of a challenge. Where did you get the inspiration for Qiqi?
With Qiqi, it was honestly just listening to the original Chinese actress's interpretation and just reading the audition and seeing what they were describing they wanted for the character. I know I gave them 2 takes for my audition. I gave them one that I felt very closely resembled the original Chinese actress, and then another take that was more emotional, because I wanted to show them that Qiqi could get really sad if she wanted to over forgetting about something. So I don't know if that's why I booked Qiqi or not, but yeah, it was a fun experience.
And I can say that a lot of fans definitely appreciate it too, just because Genshin Impact has become a global phenomenon, and the fans have been very, very active, especially with the fan art, the cosplay. It's amazing. Even when I recently did an event for Spectrum Impact, being able to work with the community and MiHoYo has been an amazing experience. So what has it been like for you? So what is it like to interact with fans?
I've had such wonderful positive experiences with fans, and even before it was announced that I was the voice of Qiqi, I know that the game had released, and I remember seeing a tweet with somebody mentioning how much the character Qiqi meant to them because they have short-term memory loss. And to them, it was such great representation being able to see a character like themselves in the game. And I've also had a few other wonderful fans on TikTok tell me how much Qiqi means to them because they don't ever want to be forgotten. And it's just been so wonderful, dealing with so many kind individuals, and I really appreciate it. And I just hope that I can keep bringing light and joy to people as well.
Absolutely. And it just those characters, because there's so many different characters that people can relate to into the game. It's wonderful what MiHoYo has developed into such an incredible game. And for those who are listening, we just want to say, we appreciate you. We love you guys. Keep up with all the amazing fan art, the cosplay, the testimonies. It really does touch our hearts that we get to see this and be part of such an amazing experience such as Genshin Impact. So coming up, we got our speed round, some very fun questions to ask because you know what? We like fun questions. Who doesn't like fun questions? So starting with the first one. So on Twitter, on your Twitter profile, it states that you're part of the BTS army. I personally don't know much about K-pop, so how would you convince someone like me to convert to K-pop?
I just love choreography, the music videos. There's so much that goes into K-pop in general. Uh, and BTS is just, in my opinion, on a whole nother level because all their music videos are kind of connecting. Like they have like this thorough like storyline that kind of, you'll watch a music video like Film Out was just released and then you're like, wait a second, that looks like it's mirroring Fake Love. Their other music video, and it's like there's all this lore and theories that kind of go into it, which is very much artistry. The messages behind so many of their songs are really inspiring. It's all about loving yourself and how important that is. And my favorite song is not one that people would know. It's called See. It was a hidden track on one of their Love Yourself albums. And it's basically about you feel like you're in the desert and your goal is to reach the sea. But they were basically describing that after all that time and they finally got to the sea, it just was also like a desert to them. I'm butchering the meaning. It's beautiful if you look up the lyrics. It's super deep and I just love it. Also, I got to see them live in 2014 at a group K-pop concert. Because again, I love K-pop. But I remember thinking to myself back then, I was like, wow, these guys are super talented. Like, they can sing, they can dance. I'm like, they just need a hit song, and they are going to be #1. And then look what happened.
Fast forward, and they've taken over with the BTS Army.
Yeah.
They've definitely taken over. Yeah, and the one thing you've got me definitely that's definitely convinced me is deep lyrics. I'm a big fan of like the deep lyrics and what the meaning behind it, because you know when someone is singing a song and they put their heart and soul into the lyrics, into the meaning behind it when every vocal that they sing. So you know what, that's definitely got me convinced to take a look into the BTS Army. And not only that, but I have a couple friends that show me, like, they're like, hey, check out this music video, and I got to give credit. K-pop's got an amazing production team with how they run their music videos, the choreography, the timing of sequences and everything is just absolutely outstanding. And of course, just the amount of fashion is just awesome in general. I gotta admit, K-pop has some of the best fashion I've seen probably like ever. And so definitely those who are listening, gotta check out some of the K-pop. One song that I know we were kind of discussing is what is it from? Shiny? Shine is how you pronounce it?
Shiny. Yeah,
them. And they just their song Ring Ding Ding, just I can listen to that song over and over again and be like, yeah, ding 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 dong, just kind of just bop my head. And if I'm feeling down, I'm like, it's one of those songs where you're like, yeah, you know what, it's a bad day, not anymore. So yeah, those definitely, guys, check out some BTS. I'm gonna check them out, and we'll probably talk about it in the comments below. Make sure you guys take a look at BTS Army.
Yeah, and to Shiny real quick, Taemin, like, he is one of the best dancers in K-pop. Like, you guys, if you look up his dancing solo videos, it's insane. Like, there's so much technicality into that, and people that are professional dancers, which I am not, highly praise him. So it's super cool.
So we're definitely going to check out the BTS Army. But what are some other genres of music you listen to?
I listen to pretty much anything except country. Yeah.
I agree. Same thing. Same here. I can get with a little EDM, a little hip hop. A little bit of acid jazz, kind of like if you ever played Persona, like that kind of style of, looks of jazz music's always kind of fun. So I can agree with that one.
Yeah. I like jazz that isn't smooth jazz. Like, if it sounds like it should belong in like an apartment store, I'm not a huge fan, but if it's like live on the street, I love it.
Yeah, same here. So what is something some people might not know about you?
I think not a lot of people know that I can too be forgetful at times. A few years ago, like in middle school, I had to do like this presentation on stage, and I don't know why I didn't really rehearse it much. And instead, I just went up on the stage and was supposed to perform like this 30-second monologue, and I blanked. I literally got deer in the headlights. I just remember seeing those lights from the back of the stage just staring at me, and I was standing there and I'm like, I can't remember a single thing. And there was a person feeding me the lines, and even that wasn't jogging my memory. So yeah, lesson learned from that was, okay, I need more than a day to memorize lines if it's going to be something, lengthy. And it's just the kind of thing, though, where everything takes practice and everyone makes mistakes, and that's okay.
Absolutely, especially with live theater, it's very, very hard. Even some of the greatest professionals, they flub a line, they make mistakes, but you know what they always say? The show must go on. So for those young actors out there looking to get started, don't ever feel down if you make a mistake, you forget something, a prop breaks on you. Just keep it going. The show must go on. It keeps rolling. So the next question that we have for you is, if Qiqi was a zombie in a horror movie, which one would she be in?
I don't really watch a lot of horror because I get scared really easily. Fun fact, I saw War of the Worlds a few years ago, and it was the remake one, and I couldn't move my neck afterwards. That's how tense I got. And that movie was far from scary.
Wow.
So I do feel like maybe because Qiqi's a child, Qiqi would be like in The Shining, I guess, because there's those two twins in that. But I don't think Qiqi is like those characters at all. So
I think if Qiqi was going to be in a horror movie, at least for my pick would be Shaun of the Dead. Just, I don't know. Edgar Wright's an amazing director and he's got really good comedy. I think Qiqi going after Shaun and then kind of stopping and being like, what was I supposed to do again? And then just kind of walking away. I can imagine Shaun be like, what's going on here? Like, wait a minute. That doesn't seem right. Young child zombie, come attack me.
Qiqi really is comedic, for sure. I love that about Qiqi.
Yeah, I think Qiqi in a horror movie has to be comedic. I would say Shaun of the Dead. Done deal.
Nice.
So, time for the plug-in. Where can people find your work or contact you for future projects?
I can be found at ChristieCate.com or preferably at ChristieCateVO on either Twitter, Instagram, or TikTok. And I recently joined Twitch, same moniker at ChristieCateVO. I have not started doing anything there, so wish me luck.
You got this. You got this.
Yeah.
A lot of fun. Streaming is
I wish
a lot of fun.
I wish I could stream Genshin. I love playing it. I'm AR 55, but I play it all on mobile, and I have a Mac, so it's the struggle is there for me.
Yeah, I'm mobile as well. I completely understand.
Yeah.
100%. Oh, is there any last words or special shout-outs you want to do?
Go find it. No, but really, I wanted to just say thank you so much to everybody that's been listening. I've had such wonderful experiences with so many people, and it just means so much to me that Qiqi means so much to you. And I love all the fan art and the comics, and I love even just playing random matches with people. Like I did some Rodelia's Rage with some people whom I don't know, and it was fun. I don't know if I knew what I was doing yet when I joined, and I apologize. But yeah, it's just been a fun experience being a part of this community, and I really appreciate it.
Absolutely. So first off, a big thank you to everyone that is listening to the interview. A huge shout out to MiHoYo and to all the community members from Genshin. You guys are amazing. And in terms of Mora, I have no Mora because you guys are making me go broke with all your wonderful fan art and merch. Oh, you guys are amazing. And thank you guys so much, truly, from all of us. You guys are amazing. Keep it up. And of course, a big thank you to Christie for doing this interview with me. You know, this was such a wonderful and lovely experience getting to chat with you, getting to know about the behind the scenes, about Genshin and how it's like to voice Qiqi. And of course, guys, make sure you check out Christie and make sure you like and subscribe for more interviews and more to come. And again, thank you, and may your journey bring you prosperity. We'll see you next time.